Computer. Hello, we're going to record this as the GH mini spotlight. I'm James Lott Jr. This is all life as it's been lived in Los Angeles and technology. I'm James Lott Jr. Frank Moran. Hi, Frank Moran.
Hey, James.
So sorry, we normally do this live. Obviously, I keep pressing this button and nothing's happening. I have to think it's because we have a lot of extreme heat in Los Angeles. There's stuff going on. I don't know. So we want to give you a show still. So that's why we're here. We're giving you a show. And Carla couldn't be here because there's some fire stuff happening where she lives. So it's like it's really, I mean, we haven't really it's 100 and it was 100 degrees here in Inglewood where I live. I don't know how hot it is where you are, Frank.
Let's do it's a little AccuWeather right now. According to my weather app, it is a balmy 102 degrees.
See?
Oh, no, 106. Sorry, just very light, refreshing.
Yeah, very light, very light.
So,
yeah, somebody else just said they're in trouble too right now. So yeah, so it's. I wish we were live with you guys. We love talking to you guys. You guys in the chat room. We're so sad. Hopefully next week we'll be back to normal. I just say we don't have this. It's not like this normally. So I mean, it's crazy talk.
but these rants will still be fresh as can be.
Yes, and everybody's commenting on my posts. Yes, it's crazy. So where some people are, they have smoke. So yes, everybody, we're sorry. We're here. We're gonna talk about GH, and so we'll get through it. And we have to begin this whole talk because last week Frank and I were talking about the possibilities of Neil. Wouldn't it be great if they used this great actor Joe Flanagan more? I mean, we were going back and forth about how great it did. Blah, 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 blah. Well, that's dead, literally. Frank.
I'm sure I'm not the only one because I think I've Googled to find out, is Joe Flanagan leaving the show? What's his contract status? What's up with him? And there has been zero information. Everybody else is still wondering about the same thing. So I'm thinking that in lieu of any knowledge about this, that he's not done with the show. But the storyline, man, come on.
I applaud Nancy Lee Grahn for trying to sell the grief, let's say it that way.
Yeah.
Afterwards. She's a great actress. I mean, if I cared, I'd be into it. Again, we'll talk about TJ and Molly and that thing too later this episode. I just couldn't feel it. Because we didn't get a chance. Again, we already rehashed this last week. We're going to rehash that again. Yeah. But we rehashed it last week. We didn't get enough. The storyline's been so dumb. All the obstacles have been dumb. They both have chemistry. They both have all this. I mean, and they didn't give us a full. I can't feel bad.
It'd be. I think I would feel more, and I think it's also because these characters are more established. We know them better. But if they did something with Jax and Nina,
yes,
where Jax all of a sudden ended up dead. Like, man, you're going to really feel something for that. And that's because of the established histories of these characters. Neil's never really got a chance to really get anything to him. So you're right. It's tough to feel anything out of his death other than like, all right, this can't be it for Joe Flanagan and this character. So what's the hook?
I said, only thing could be, and you mentioned something like this kind of before, unless he's related to Cyrus or no somehow, and there's some kind of fake, his death is fake, and so I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, it's just like, why bring him on, half-ass use him, then kill him? So
I was reading.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was reading online somebody's theory that Laura had a conversation with Neil, wanting his help in trying to create a program to help drug addicts and stuff like that to rehabilitate their lives. And so the theory was that Cyrus found out about this because that would be an obstacle for him trying to assert his control, and so would kill Neil to do this, which that's a lot of heavy lifting to get there because that was like a one-hand thing that we never saw any more development on. So if you're expecting us to believe that Cyrus knows about that, let alone is concerned about that, to the point where he would kill Neil in his sleep, much like one of Jordan's old teammates died of a drug overdose that was, that he never took drugs. So if you're trying to make that correlation, I don't know, there's been enough groundwork for me to go like, whoa, yeah, there's something here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, that'd be interesting, I guess, but they don't even. I mean, we already know that he's behind Jason. We got that reveal this week. Brando's innocent. He didn't do anything. So he got beat up for being related to Sonny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, but he. So we find out that yes, Cyrus is, and he fired Bobby and Monica.
Were you bummed about for that to happen off camera,
Yes.
or do you? That seemed like so weird to me.
Right, because when he said that, when Nurse Deanna said that, I was like, oh, there's homegirl. To Sonny, I was like, oh, we don't get to see that. We don't get to see confrontation. We don't. I mean, like the two iconic nurses, doctor, nurse people. I mean, yeah, TJ's gonna stick up for them. Like, he has other reasons why he could be mad. I mean, there's a lot of stretching going on, Frank. So that's my point, I guess. If they're gonna stretch, why not stretch that? They could trace it back to Cyrus, I guess, on some note for Neil. I mean, who knows?
I mean, yeah, I mean, because it's not like, they're around. Leslie Charleston, Jackie Zeman, they're both around. So, yeah, they could be there for that scene. And they get so few meaty scenes. Why are we depriving them of the chance for this?
Because the whole Nell thing. It's like, the bitch is dead. Well, we know she's not dead, but she's not on the canvas. And so the lawsuit's still happening. She's gone. Like, doesn't that absolve the hospital? I mean, like, she's presumed dead. Yeah. So like the lawsuit drops. Wiley is in Michael's care. I mean, I guess they do some stretching on GH. They just stretch. That rubber band is about to burst sometimes, but they go all the way around it to get there. But Alexis is now staying at Jason and Sam's house.
Yeah, where
it's metro courts.
I know. It's like, yeah, but it's also weird that it's like it was Sam's idea. Yet when Sam comes in with Alexis, she's a little bit behind her, and when she announces that she's staying there, she kind of gives that like little look off the side, like Sam, it's your idea. Why are you giving Jason the like? I know, what's this, huh? Oh,
I just feel like Nancy Lee Grahn deserves so much better. When she really does. And I think as an actress, and I think this storyline has been mishandled from the very beginning. And I think that now she's saddled with this, she's alone again. And then you put her with scenes with Finn where they have chemistry also. They didn't go that direction either. Unless now they're going there. Because Anna's talking to Valentine for help. And now Finn is like, I'm like this. I mean, Lucretia said a few weeks ago, maybe there's something going on there. I was like, Finn and Alexis were cute together, but they didn't put them together in the first place. I mean, I just think put upon Alexis. I mean, like, she just can't get a man. I mean, like, really? I mean,
yeah, part of me hopes that, not part of me, a lot of me hopes that the producers took Nancy Lee Grahn aside and said, all right, this is the storyline we want to do. This is where it's going. It might be a little clunky at first, but in the end, it's going to be a really rich story for you. So just go with us on this. I'm hoping that's the case.
Well, I feel like she'll do what they tell them anyway. She'll do what she's paid to do a job. She'll do it. She does her job. She probably she made a joke about, folks, we can't even talk about the storyline about why and how he died. We've been calling it the golden vagina. Homegirl, so hold your ears, folks. You don't want to hear something like this, but I'm just saying, her vagina must be so incredible. It caused him to have a heart attack because he's not that old, folks. Hello, he's not that old. And he was pretty much kind of in shape for being at his age, too, that it was so delicious that, and the way they found out was like, you want a foot rub? And she got the foot lotion on her hands. She's rubbing her hands. Her feet are cold.
Yeah.
Really cold. I was like, dang, that's how he's going out. That's how she's gonna find out he's going out. I don't know, kids. I don't know. It's different. It's different. She stripped her man to death.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And so to hear, it's frustrating to hear Alexis lament about the time wasted with her and Neil. Us as audience members are feeling the exact same way.
Right, exactly. We wish we had time together more. We could have seen something, and that leads me into TJ and Molly and them. And they give them a meaty scene once every couple of weeks, then they go away, and it's like, I thought of you, Frank. Another flashback to
Oh,
Molly. Just
great.
for you, Frank Moran. It was just for you.
Just in case we forgot, everybody, as if Molly's inability to have any kind of poker face is not tell enough. It's just anytime the name Brandon comes up,
They're trying to make TJ want to be friends with him so bad. Like, why are we friends with him so bad? I'm like, what's all that about?
I know.
What's a friendship?
Well, we'll take it easy. Yeah, take it easy on him because he's got a baseball injury, and you don't want to exasperate that. Oh,
I had to laugh. I mean, again, good actors. Just we don't see him enough to. I want to feel something. And his whole thing with Cyrus could have been interesting. It was like because creepy Cyrus was kind of pouring his tail and all, just kind of comes through. I like that he kind of bugs people sometimes. Kind of like, he just bugs people. But I was like, again, I'm not connected to TJ. I'm not connected to him. So I'm like, I wish. I mean, he's fighting for for Bobby, and then say they were great and they inspired me, and I'm like, that's all great and good though, but he was the one who got you kidnapped. I mean, like we could there's some stuff we could play with that instead, like have him find. I mean,
it would mean more to me too if I had seen a lot of scenes or just even a handful of scenes of TJ with either Bobby or Monica. The fact that we haven't, to have him just like fighting for them, like, okay, how often have you actually hung out? Because at least for me as a viewer, I don't think you know of them, but you've never worked side by side. So, and Cyrus, I mean, I guess those authority positions are always wax and wane depending on the needs of the plot. So that now the director of the hospital board is all of a sudden just ever present, and his fingers are in everybody's pie. And it's just like, okay, it's only because we need this. But otherwise, the previous director never saw him at all, ever getting involved with anything. But no. Cyrus, we got to have him involved because he's the bad guy, and he's got to mess people's lives up. So,
and Homeboy shows up everywhere. I mean, okay, now you had Turning Woods too. I was like,
yeah. And what was the point of that scene? Was it just to goad Sonny? I guess.
And we had to see Stephen A. Smith come back as Brick. I always like seeing my man.
I loved it. Wow.
He's a good actor. He's actually a pretty good actor. He actually does a good job for what he gets. They were, and like I said, I met him in person at Eric Braden's 40th anniversary on Y&R. He's super tall. He's like taller than me. He's like 6'5" or something. He's very tall. So when he shows up, it's kind of nice and gives somebody to talk to somebody, which I don't mind. It's funny he pops up. But you're right. Other than and the little cat and mouse between Brick and Cyrus a little bit. It was like, that was kind of nice, I guess. But again, I'm like, I don't understand. What's that leading to? Was it just because he wanted to annoy Sonny again, just like show up where his father was?
And I was excited about the Brick and Cyrus stuff because as much as I like Stephen A. Smith as Brick, it's pretty much just always either talking to Carly, Sonny, or Jason. Just talking to them. We never really get to see Brick in action. We always get him either before or after the fact talking to those three. So to see him actually in the process of mixing something up, I'm like, all right, if this could lead to actually some more Brick time, I'm down for it.
Me too. I'll take it. But I will say the whole Sonny stuff was great this week. I mean, I really enjoyed Mike's kind of last great day at the races. Very sweet. I had, seeing Felix, of course, come back on the show, just something. They had the actual carrots. They had real horses, which I'm a horse person. I mean, equestrian of sorts, into the equine. And so it was good to see that. And I thought that was very cool. Actually, I really have no complaints about that part of the week. Actually, I mean, it was all good. What do you think about that?
I agree, but as I've said before, my patience is over on the mic checking out. I felt like we could have been done weeks ago on that. Which again, I am speaking as somebody that has not had that touch my life. I'm dead inside, as full disclosure. So I have no feelings, and I can't relate to those human emotions. of lamenting to somebody passing through.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Moran is dead inside. He doesn't give two shits.
Yeah. So for me, every time there's a scene with Mike and Sonny, I'm hoping that this is a tender moment, and then Mike just checks out. So like when Mike is kissing the horses, I wanted him just to check out. Or after that, it's like I'm done. Or when Sonny says, "Hey, I'm gonna go play some bets and I'll come back," I thought he was gonna come back and Mike would be dead. I was like, "That's beautiful. He's in his happy place and he's gone." But no, it still keeps going.
Oh my God, you're so bad, Frank. Actually, with this heat, I'm gonna drop dead in here in a second, probably. Like Frank, and I'm Frank Moran.
But I will miss you. That would break my heart. I would achieve human feelings for that moment.
For that moment, you grow
yes.
heart for that moment. Yes. No, I mean, for me, I don't mind it so much. So I mean, it's fine. But I mean, it's coming soon. The Nigh is coming soon. It's coming soon, folks. The Nigh is near, or however they say that thing is. And it's near. It's coming. It's coming, Frank. It's coming.
Do you think he holds out until Dante gets back?
Oh, good question. Actually, that's a good question. They had a relationship. Dante and Mike did.
They did.
I don't know. It's a good question. You're right. They could. It's a possibility.
I mean, if you're teasing Dante coming back, and it seems like it's gonna happen pretty quickly, why not have that moment for those two characters? You're
right. It might be. It might be one of those things where they could. I have no problem if they all surround him in love, and he dies that way.
Yeah.
The whole family. Get Christina. Get everybody. I mean, I have no problem with that. They did that. I have no problem with that. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you figure Olivia probably has got to tell him how Mike's doing. So if he's really on his last legs, that might motivate Dante to want to go back to say goodbye.
Yeah, I think so. I just want to do a little side note. We saw little Danny for the first time in 20,000 years, so he's alive.
Which that surprised me because, I mean, after playing a little fast and loose there with Wiley, to see Danny come out, I was like, oh, all right, we're getting the kids and
I know. I was like, we mean why? You mean the different camera angles and the stuff? We don't really see him. Like it's just like there's the baby monitor. I mean, like we don't really see him. I don't know. I mean, yes. Tell it, Frank. Yes.
My favorite part about it, just as we go to the side for that Wiley bit, is when Willow is talking to the bed backboard, the headboard of the bed, because we can't see Wiley. I really wanted the reverse angle, and Wiley is not there. He's still in the kitchen with the kitchen staff, and we realized that Willow's just kind of lost it, and she's now just talking to an imaginary Wiley. I really wanted that, but we didn't get it.
Wonderful, not happening. Willow is a saint, Frank. She is not gonna have any craziness or nothing. She is a saint. They're setting it up. She's a saint.
Great.
And her and Michael, Chase wanted to tell. He wanted to say, "I'm gonna finally tell everything," but in the bushes. Well, at least they'll tell. But Frank, the fake set was better than the one outside.
True. Well, that would have been great if they had been in that part where there's like the little skinny trees, and and Chase was just kind of like lurking behind a skinny tree watching them. Oh, but tell me, the way they frame that shot is we've got Michael and Willow talking, and then Chase in between them, a little bit back into the bushes. How could you, with a bright red shirt on, how could you not notice that guy standing right there? That was so crazy to me.
I chuckled, but very soapy. I'm going to tell Sasha, don't do that. I'm going to tell her she loves me. Go there, see them being close together. Never mind. Yeah, they did tease, which I think something's happening, him in Brooklyn. I'm calling it.
It seemed weird to me that Sasha went by to Brooklyn specifically about a Chase thing where I don't know why she felt the need to do that. That really seemed out of the blue to me. Like, I'm going to go to Brooklyn specifically to say, hey, Chase is a cool dude. Why? Why was that happening?
Because, they're not friends, but they did bond a little bit drunkenly the other night. But you're right, they weren't friends. I was like, the scene was cute. I didn't know, that's fine, I guess. But when she was like, you two, I was like, oh no. Sasha's not into Chase, apparently. She's not into him, which I don't think she is. I think she's looking at Valentine or one of them. Somewhere, like going that direction.
I feel like, I guess, like, the Chase thing would be a little too close. All Sue's going to do is a reminder of everything that's kind of blown up there.
Exactly. Yeah. So I kind of believe she's not in Chase. They're a cute couple, but I think she's beautiful. But seeing Chase and Brooklyn have that quick little moments, I was like, okay. See, they hate each other at first. The jokes always say he's always arresting her. He's always getting hurt by her. And then now she's she's a hero this week. She's the hero of the week. Isn't she, Frank?
She is. Everybody wanted to come by and sing their praises to where like,
Sing praises, Frank. You say sing praises. But
you can't anymore. I am, as much as I, in real life, appreciate her having a pad to be able to communicate her thoughts.
Yeah.
The filming of it and the acting of it, where I'm just like angrily typing less letters that would actually be in my response, show you the still that production is installed on there. Oh, come on.
It didn't bother me that much. That's fine. But I'm like, everybody just like, I mean, she's kind of like, yeah, thanks. I can't really talk. So I won't be able to sing again because it's this stupid baby. So, okay, thank you. I kept feeling that for her going, everybody stop thanking me for my sacrifice because it is a sacrifice. It is a sacrifice, folks.
Are you buying her still not wanting to forgive Ned at this point?
Yeah, it makes sense. To me, it makes sense. She's hard-headed. I mean, it's a Quartermain. She's a hardhead. I feel like that to me is completely in character. And Olivia said it. I mean, she was like, you're this way, she's that way. Ned's done some stuff, you've done some stuff. I just think it's in character. And she's being a hardhead right now. Her pride has been wounded. That's a very Quartermain trait.
But if Ned had said to Brooklyn what he had said about Brooklyn to Olivia, I would find it hard for Brooklyn to be as hard-headed as she's being. And so it frustrates me that we saw how much Ned poured his heart out and admitted how wrong he was and how vulnerable he was to Olivia, but we don't see him do it to Brooklyn. And I don't understand why, especially when he's so exasperated that Brooklyn is refusing his help. Why isn't he telling her all these things that he's already said?
I agree with that at my part, but from what's going on, from what we're getting, the scenes we're getting, it makes sense. To me, it makes sense. And so she's like, actually, I am washed out. Well, I mean, what's even better?
Hello.
GH After Dark. GH. Yeah, so I'm sorry, guys. It's hot. I mean, I was washed out. I couldn't see myself. I was washed out. So you can see me in the dark. When they used to have night shift, that was that show they had.
That's right. Billy Williams is coming by later for a cameo.
I would love. Okay, I would love to be Billy D. Williams. Ladies Sings the Blues, Lando Calrissian. I mean, he's don't just Smooth Taste Fool you. Court 45. Don't get me started.
There you go.
I'm all about Billy D. Williams. Don't get me started. Mahogany, everything. I'm all about that. Yeah, but no. So Brooklyn's gonna be covered there. I guess she'll be at something. Lulu stopped by, of course, and Dustin. That was a throwaway scene, kind of. It was just like, well, she did mention that she got stabbed, also. But I want to say, bitch, you didn't get stabbed in the neck.
Yeah.
You weren't a singer. Like, there's two different stabbings. My lip was slashed. You were stabbed.
Yeah. Stop it, Lulu.
Yeah, whatever. So I'm not going to talk to you. Whatever.
I will be curious to see. I mean, I assume Brooklyn just goes back to the Metro Court. I guess. Or does she stay with Chase and he helps her get on the mend, I suppose. I don't know. What do you think about it with Ned and Olivia and their little argument?
Realistic. I think it's a realistic argument. They've been fighting before this thing happened, before the pandemic. They were fighting. I hate to say this because I like them together, but good. Show some conflict. But I like her and Robert together. I really do. There's chemistry there. There really is chemistry. I just never thought that I would feel. I mean, it's Olivia and Robert have chemistry, but I think. I want Endgame to be Olivia and Ned still. They're the ones who live together. But why not have a little something happen and give them some meaty story? I mean, sure, they can do it. I'll take it any day. And I think there is this thing where Olivia is the kind of peacemaker, put her together, but she was kind of right. She's like, but that's your daughter. Like, you need to figure it out. Like, I mean, I did what I could do, but that's still between you two. And she kept mentioning Sonny, and everybody's like, I'm not taking things from Sonny, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I know you're not a fan of Sonny's, but she does love her Uncle Sonny. So I feel like it's realistic. When she said, she made me choose my son over your daughter, that's not fair. That he is basically doing that. Ned's a little pompous. He's a little pompous Quartermain. That's what they do. They give ultimatums. It's all in character. This week I'm watching on Days of Our Lives, his on-screen son left off the show. They're off the show. So he had some meaty scenes on that show. And I was like, oh my God, Wally Kurth on both shows is blowing my mind. Best nipples in the business. Best nipples in the business. I always tell him. It's just blowing my mind. He's on 2 shows right now doing front burner.
My worry is I feel like GH has been able to take advantage of days not being back in production yet to give him a lot of stuff. So my worry is when they start up again in a few weeks.
I know.
You're gonna see a lot.
I know.
Of Kurth.
Because they really did put a lot of Wally on it for us. This back. So, but no, I'm glad Olivia left. I was thinking, what about your son? I forgot about, like, do we all forget about that? That you're supposed to go, you know? So I'm glad he picked that back up. No, to be saying, I was like, oh yeah, you guys gotta go. And so her and Robert are taking their first class flight to Geneva, and they're going over there. And I'm just gonna go to Holly's funeral. So now we already know, if you watch the news, I'm gonna say it because you probably know already. Nathan Parsons' way back as Ethan. So I have a feeling it has some ties to Holly's funeral. That was his son with Luke, her son with Luke. So I'm thinking something there. We're good to see him. I like the character Ethan. I always kind of liked him. So we could be kind of cool to see him.
Do you think it would be weird to not see Luke at that? I mean, realistically, we know why. I mean, Anthony Gary's not on the show anymore, so he's not going to come back. But I think it would be weird if we see Ethan there, but we don't see Luke.
Yeah, I think it'll be a little weird. I think they're going to explain it somehow, obviously, like they always do. It'd be great if it's a surprise. All of a sudden, he's there for a second.
Yeah.
And then goes. But I understand that he's retired, so I get that. For him, he's not just not in the business anymore. He's actually retired from the business. So he's not acting anywhere right now that I know of. So I just think, I get it, I guess, at some level. You can't keep coming back. I mean, you'd be working for the rest of your life, obviously. And you can't recast Luke. That's just not going to work. That's if Emma's dead. Emma Sam's with her. If Holly's really dead or not. I mean, that's kind of, they're playing as if she's dead, but I'm like, something's telling me that something's up. I could be wrong, but it's a soap opera, so I'm not sure. So I'll be interested to see what happens there.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that, I enjoy Ethan as a character. I think there was some good stuff done with him, and I liked his relationships on the show. I am hoping it's not one of those where they just bring him in for a hot second, he says a few lines, and then that's it. I mean, I know he can't stick around for long, but at least give him a little something of meat while he's there.
Well, it'd be great if he came back to Port Charles, because there are women around his age, like a Sasha, or, there's people that he could actually pair up with. Be interesting. Be very interesting. So I don't know, but we know he's coming back. But I like Olivia and Robert together, kind of doing this, and she needs to see her son. I totally get it, and so I think her going is going to facilitate him coming back to Port Charles. And that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get him back to Port Charles.
See, I feel like I would love that, because I feel like we're missing that Luke-esque character, that part in the show where he wasn't in the crime stuff extensively. He could dip toes into that world as needed, but he had some other kind of, shenanigans, running a con kind of stuff that is a nice element to have in GH. So it'd be cool to have that back.
I agree. The necklace. So now some redhead. I thought it was Diane at first. It was like Carolyn Hennessy. It's Carolyn Hennessy knockoff. Comes on to be a jeweler. If I would find a jeweler that. So now we're going to. So I guess we're still pursuing the route that she has a child.
Yes.
For our knowledge, it's a daughter. I thought, what would be interesting if it's a son? Wouldn't that be interesting? And they switch it on us all of a sudden. But the necklace, as you saw, is laying there in the wilderness. I made it through the wilderness. Somehow I made it through.
Great. Right?
It's in the, we saw that they flashed by, and it's like laying in the, where Nell fell over. She's not dead, folks. If you believe she's dead, I have ice water to sell you in Antarctica. I mean, like, it's not, she's not dead. I know she's not dead. All that stuff. But anyway, so yes.
Yeah, Carly having that dream of Nell coming back. It's, again, I don't know why they're going down this road of not telling the full truth. Well, it's just, why not? I mean, especially if Valerie is in this, and as a Spencer, and she knows everything that's been happening to the family. If Carly just comes clean with everything, no. And Nell, and Carly did nothing wrong. She tried to help Nell, and she fell out. She fell. So
And Jack's acting nervous, and she's acting nervous. I'm like, Jax, aren't you have to cool, calm, collected? You're acting nervous. I'm like, what's all that about, Jax? Like, why are you stuttering all of a sudden? And Valerie just saying, I'm your cousin. I'm like, you are? You actually acknowledging you're a cousin? Oh, and Lulu made a slip. Bad writing, folks. Lulu is not Wiley's aunt. She is a cousin. Dante's, Dante, it's Dante's. Well, I guess through marriage, it's her nephew, but that's weird. It's like, because Carly's always been your cousin, Michael's your cousin, that's your cousin. But yes, through marriage, yes, you are a step aunt through marriage or whatever. But like, that's still good. Or aunt by marriage, it's still weird. She called her nephew. I'm like, that's just me. I don't know.
True. You're divorced.
You're divorced. You're cousins. But that's just a weird, but anyway, a little weird little thing. But no, so yeah, the necklace, they're gonna go on a hunt for it. Nina's gonna talk to Jax, they're gonna work it. I'm like, so I mean, if it's not Nell, well then who's the daughter then? I mean, if Nell's dead or gone, I mean, I don't know where they're going with this either.
Well, and I cannot remember because these storylines are great. The specifics of, was this necklace actually split into two? Because I mean, you can buy those necklaces already separated, or they just are even forged as just two halves of a necklace. So, are we like?
The inscription will tell you like, oh my god, like really? Are we really going there? Like really? I've seen those necklaces at thrift stores. I've seen them at in tourist attraction places in San Francisco and New York. I mean, those half necklaces are not anything special. I've seen them everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere. So I'm just like, really? That's where we're going with that too? So yeah, so that's kind of that's how I feel about that. I was like,
well, I mean, your interview. I mean, James did that interview with Chloe. A little GH mini spotlight there with her. Yes. Did she even say how? I mean, she's leaving. So we're just going to leave this storyline kind of spinning its wheels for 6 months.
She's not on contract. She doesn't want to be on contract. She has other projects coming out. She's working. And so she has a project with Brittany Sarpy. So things coming on, which I'll probably back on the show and talk about. But no, she's not on contract, folks. She's not. So I don't know what they're going to do with her because she's not on contract. She enjoys playing Nell, but I don't know what that. I know she didn't offer any like. She's like, yeah, my scenes. I did my scenes, and she's like, sure, where she filmed them. Now, I mean, I don't know. So I don't know what they're going to do.
I mean, I assume that's not going to. I mean, everybody's life situations change. So who knows? In 6 months to a year, she may decide she'd want to be on contract, and then they could fully do that storyline. But which is great. But in the meantime, we're just going to have to sit here kind of just spinning our wheels because I assume production is holding out.
Right.
So one, they can rest Nell for a little while anyway, so that's cool. But at some point, they're going to want to reach out to Chloe and say, "Hey, you interested in coming back?" And I don't know, like we've talked about before, if this storyline, you could do it full justice if she only wants to come back for just a little bit. I think somebody that's going to be around for a while to really dive into all the ramifications of what this is going to be.
I know. I don't get either. She affects much of the canvas, like you're saying. And it's like we don't.
Yeah. So it'll be frustrating to see production just spinning their wheels, dragging the story out in the hopes of what might happen. And I feel like people are going to get irritated. Like, this already been, like, Nina has been dealing with this issue for so long already that I need some forward movement on this. And if Chloe's not going to be around for a while, I'm going to be irritated by the stretching out.
I agree. No, actually, I agree. I agree with that. Speaking of people all of a sudden out of nowhere, Alex called. And it's
great. I mean, I as much as I love Finola Hughes and giving her a chance to do dual stuff, it is kind of one note with Anna where if something comes up that Anna perceives as a threat, she's the only one who can deal with this. I've got to take care of it. And I am glad that by the end of this week, she had changed her mind about going to Berlin. I mean, at once I was intrigued by the idea of her and Valentine going, and if they'd gone that route, I would have been down for that. But in lieu of that, I had zero interest in her going off by her own. Like, I am the only one that can do this. So I'm glad that she bailed.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm saying with you, if they did an adventure, I was like, oh, I'll do it. Okay, that's fine. Um, but it was interesting that she and Finn fought at first, and he kind of brought up your stuff like, why you're always doing whatever she called like, and then when Valentine was the one who was the voice of reason, kind of like reminding her of the WSB way, going, wait a minute, now this is what we do normally, and you're just kind of going half cocked out there. It was, I'll help you, but you got to think of a different way, and so then it made her think, and I kind of liked that they went through the process of that with her, that it wasn't just like, we got to go. You're right, that's her MO. And people called her out on it. They're like, that's your MO. It's like, it's your sister. It's clearly a trap. Like, clearly it's a trap. And she's kind of like, yeah, I know it's a trap. But it's funny because
Yeah.
she got called out twice this week. The scene with her and Robert was good too earlier, where he was kind of calling her, he was kind of mocking her a little bit about her feelings about Peter. And when she started going off and doing a little monologue about what, oh yes, I would have been stupid. And that means I would have been, and I'm like, and he was like, he goes, I don't have to argue with you. I don't have to argue with you. Like, and I was like, you're arguing with yourself. And I thought, she is. That's the first one I was like, good. We're seeing that Anna is kind of conflicted a little bit about her son, or possibly her son, whatever that thing is. It's Alex's son or whatever. I like that. I said, fine, we can't make Anna stupid too. Alexa's already dumb. Let's not dumb down Anna. I don't have too many dumb women on the show. We can't be doing that. So I thought, good. Robert's like calling her out. She's kind of like, she's not thinking like, maybe I am like going back and forth. Because she wants, she knows that Maxie will be hurt. That's the thing. And I'm sure she doesn't want that to happen. But Robert Scorpio Spinelli are on the case, and they're just like, we got 9 months, bitches. We gotta get this shit together because we don't have no time for him. I mean, Robert was like, get on it, Spinelli, get on it. And I love that they decided to slide into Brando's garage and put up the camera. But with the Brando thing, he's innocent. But in the end, it just took him saying the name Chloe. No, she wasn't Chloe. Nell Benson Jerome. That rattled Peter's cage, which I almost forgot about that, actually. I forgot about that part. Not the Shiloh thing. He was calm and cool, but when he said Nell, his friend was like, what? And then it took him one phone call to Valentine, of course, about Nell. And that's all he needed. And I was like, there you go.
And I am assuming that camera is recording on a website that Spinelli can watch later, because it seemed ridiculous to me that he'd only hear that beginning part, and then it's like, I'm closing the laptop. Got you. No, keep listening to what he's saying. He's right there in the midst of a conversation.
Yeah, I know.
Why'd you close this laptop?
I know.
And again, Spinelli and Brando, where he tries to get him out to go take care of the minivan. Again, I kept on thinking about the nurses' ball where they introduced him as, like the premier private investigator, elite private investigator of Port Charles. Like, really? He's so he's so nervous, and he's got these tics, and like, no, there's nothing sly or smooth or suave about him at all. An elite title for him is ridiculous.
Yes, I know. But I love Spinelli, so that's fine. I love him so much. But I love this little showdown. I love this little showdown with Peter, though. That was a little okay. I thought Peter was going to beat him up or something.
I mean, I like when there's that sweet spot with Spinelli's tics for me, where I'm fine and I like it. But when it gets too manic, like when he was like following the parole officer, or when he's trying to how he's reacting to the nurses' ball after he spoke with Nell, when he gets all too crazy and flustered like that, he is annoying to watch at that point.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Like I said, him and Peter had a little showdown before that, and Peter's like 10. I mean, Wesley's like 10 times taller than him, so it's kind of funny. And he was like looking down. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. Better watch out. Spinelli. Peter ain't playing. He took care of Liesel, didn't he? Like, they ain't playing. They ain't playing at all.
I also like, though, James, for any of your car problems you've ever had in your life, if you've gone to a local mechanic and they weren't there, would you just wait? Or would you say, like, thanks, I'll move on to another person and see what they can do? I mean, I know you needed it for the plot to happen, but I'm also like, come on, guys, you got to set the reality for this a little bit better. It's crazy.
Weird. I agree. It was weird. I was like, I didn't understand either.
And it's if you don't have a lot of money and you're like, I'm not going to stay here. But Peter, yeah, he owns the invader. He's fine. He's flush with cash. There's no reason he needs to wait for this, this 2-bit mechanic. Like, I can find other people. I'll go. So I'm like, okay, whatever.
I know. That's crazy. Just want to mention Curtis as in a chef's hat serving his woman. Before I got there, that's to mention that.
I hated that scene so much because I see what they're doing, and they do this all the time right before a character suffers a big betrayal. They've got to set it up as this character is just so like, I love you so much, and you're the best, and they go over the top for all these things, and they make for horrible scenes, and they do no justice to the character, where they just paint them as some blind, oblivious fool, so that the emotional tragedy of when the truth is finally revealed can be that much more hurtful. You're like, I wore a chef's hat for you, and I cooked, and you never told me about Taggart? Oh, come on.
It's soapy. It's totally soapy. I loved it. I don't care. It's soapy. It's a soap trope, as they say. It is. And I fell for it. I'm like, it's because it's Donnell Turner, so I don't care. I'm like, whatever. Look, he looked delicious in the hat. I was like, sure, whatever you want to serve me, that's fine. I will take it. I know that you're right. It's all thing about, I want you to feel bad that, that tag, all this stuff, like the tagger. I'm like, just setting it up. It's going to come out. It's all going to come out. All come crashing down. We're seeing Portia Moran scenes. It's all going to come together at some point and come out.
It's just, I hate that they have to do it like this. You can do it without being so over the top with the way you're setting up how somebody feels about a situation. Like, come on.
Cyrus said, CJ, I recognize your mother is fire. You have that attitude just like your mother. Mm-hmm.
And I do like, though, that like the Curtis and Cyrus scenes are entertaining to watch, because Curtis just likes to call him out, and Cyrus is like, everybody works for me eventually. I'm like, okay.
I was like, okay with that statement. He's like, I'm like, okay with that statement. He's like, work for me. Okay. Well, you say so.
But I want Curtis to have the upper hand in this. I don't want him to be a chump in this storyline. I mean, he's going to be a chump about the Taggart stuff for sure. That ship has sailed. But in terms of how he's dealing with Cyrus, don't just, let's see Curtis actually deliver the goods. Let's see him be the elite PI that, we keep hearing Spinelli is. I want to see him have a leg up on Cyrus on this.
Yeah, and I do. And Cyrus, right now they're doing the whole thing of establishing Cyrus as a leader, obviously, a thorn in everybody's side. And so now they have to all collectively somehow try to get him out. He's the season's villain, so to speak. Shows do that. So everybody got to try to bring him down.
But why Brando? I still don't understand why Brando. Because, sure, he's part of Sonny's family, but if you're driving for Cyrus, Sonny's not going to... I don't understand the point of that, because either Sonny just like cuts him out of his life, or he retaliates against Cyrus for attacking one of his family. So I don't know why explained to me sufficiently enough why Brando is worth all this trouble that they're going to.
Yeah. Frank, I couldn't tell you. The writers have chosen to go that direction, and we're sitting there shaking our heads. That's all. Those are the decisions they make, and we're just like,
okay.
I don't know either. I just smile sometimes and go, okay, that's a scene. Sure. Okay. Some of them just like, I don't understand where this is going or why they did that or why they brought that up, but hopefully they'll connect the dots later, maybe. That's I keep hoping at some point they'll connect the dots and they'll go, oh, that's why they did that.
Great. And again, Sam, I'm no fan of this character. And again, this week did her no favors, where even after Brando gets his butt kicked and is in the hospital, she's still got to go to Jason like, but maybe he was faking that. And when Jason just says, he doesn't even know there's a camera
right
in the garage. So why would he be setting this up? There's no point.
Right. It's like it was like he knows nothing. He's innocent, Sam. Again, I think they're making Sam want to be with Brando on some level. I think they're trying to lead that direction.
Sam's a dope. Again, she's been tagged as one of the elite PIs of Port Charles, and she can't even put two and two together with this whole thing with Brando. Okay.
No, she
Now, James, there was that tweet that went out from Brian Craig saying that who's going to take him, and he tagged all the soaps. Now, you watch all the soaps. I'm only on GH. Does the natural fit be GH, or could you see him or want him on one of the other soaps?
Well, so far, that's a great question. I saw that tweet. I was like surprised by that tweet. I was like, okay, go on, Brian Craig, making that announcement. It's been much talk, of course, on our other shows I do about that. I can see him on Bold and the Beautiful. He's kind of pretty boyish. And of that demographic, they need some people in that demographic to even out some story. But it's a short show and a large cast. So maybe not on that one. I can see him on Days. He's an easy fit on Days of Our Lives. I can see him as one of the, there's a million relatives on the show they can bring back. I can see him come back as a relative on there. Again, there are women his age on the show they get paired with. Now, I think of it that way too. They want, that. I can see him on Y&R. Y&R has a tendency to use GH actors. I mean, Tristan Rogers is on there. Jeannie Francis is on there. I mean, Maura West was on there. I mean, there's a lot of them that they go back and forth, and they're friends. And when I went to Eric Braden's thing, a lot of GH actors were on. Steve Burton was on there. I mean, so they do a lot of GH folks on Y&R, and I can see him on there too. Again, a new character or whatever. I think Brian Craig's a talented actor, so I can see him on any soap. Here's my thing. Sorry, folks. Don't go back to General Hospital. I think Morgan being dead, I like the character of Morgan on some level. That was the meaty storyline. Let's keep him dead. Just because, sorry, Morgan fans are there, but I just think I feel like if there's more stuff given when he died, that void should always just be there. Like, don't bring him back. Like, AJ's gone. Don't bring back him either. They're dead. So I feel like leave him dead. Don't make him a twin. Don't make him anything else. I think it's too lazy, actually, go back on GH. I was like, give him another soap. Come on, another soap, snatch him up and bring him on. And I think he can deliver. So I know I was shocked by that. When I saw that tweet, I was like, what? That's very interesting. I'm like, okay, Brian. Okay, that's one way of doing it.
Yeah, I wish I respect the move. I wish I was at any sort of power position in my life where I could just send out a tweet like that and know and feel confident enough that it would result in some sort of job offer.
I should do that one day. Just pick 4 shows and let's think. Just I'm here, guys. Get me. Get it while it lasts. I don't know.
But James Lott Jr., you are incredibly talented and multifaceted that you could not necessarily as an acting, but as a host,
yes,
or as an organizing consultant, or whatever you wanted to do, musician, author, that you could tag 4 companies and offer. Yes, I feel like you would have some success in that. I know I would not, but you would.
I should try it. That is a bold. For him, it is a bold move to do this. Go, okay, I'm here. Come and get it. I'm here. I'm ready to do soaps again. I don't know what he's trying to do outside of that. I don't know what he was doing. So I don't know. Good for him. I think why not? Soaps would be smart to have him. If again, only get him if you're going to use him. Don't bring him on as a stunt casting. We hate when that happens. Actually bring him on and use him properly. He can do the acting, so use him properly. That's what I say. We know that the Bridge is coming back, so Kelly Thibault's she announced she's coming back to GH. So she's back working again. She's off Days of Our Lives. She was good over there, actually. Actually did a good job. But now she's coming back to GH. So, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of interesting.
I'm hoping that this is going to, she will be done better justice and service than she was on her last appearance. Like, let's actually give her some more stuff to do. She
has ties to everyone. Oh, I was about to sign us off, but I guess I have to do the obligatory storyline that everyone knows I hate so much. I almost forgot to mention it. There's a baby coming.
Yes. Yes. It's, I don't know. James, I'm dead inside and I can't feel those human moments that other people do, but I find myself very tired of the cliche first time baby checking out, and that's an official medical term I just used.
Yeah.
It's just like, can we figure out the sex yet? No. you're not going to find out the sex right there on the first one. You're not.
Max, you've been pregnant before. You know how this works.
Yes. Oh, so.
If I'm correct, she's been pregnant 3 times. No, twice, because the other one, that baby was given to. Let's get 3 times. No.
Yeah.
Rich, the little band who's Rocco. She was pregnant with him, right? And it was actually her baby. That's right. She thought it was her baby. It wasn't her baby or something. Whatever.
So this is the 4th time.
Or 4th time. Well, she's been pregnant before. Homer wasn't pregnant before. She's been through the process. She just had James like a minute ago. So it's like, I had no breath about this situation. It's too hot. I hate the character of Peter. I'm waiting for his comeback. When his comeuppance comes, seriously, I'm gonna have champagne on the show. I'm wearing a top hat and tails. I mean, when his comeuppance comes, I am so excited. I can't even tell you. Everything right now is just like percolating for me. It's like I'm salivating at the glands that I want him caught.
I also feel like it's gonna be like a Valentine situation where he might get busted, but you're never gonna pin him down exactly, and he's gonna have some way to get out of it. So it's not like we're gonna be able to ship him off and he's gone forever. I feel like Peter's still gonna be around. Which if he gets his comeuppance, are you fine with that? Or just as a character comeuppance or not, you want him gone?
I want him gone. I do. I've never been a fan of the character. I don't like the character. I don't like. To me, there's no chemistry with anybody. I'm not a fan of the character, unless they recasted it maybe with somebody else, and that could change my mind. But this pairing is not really working for me at all. And it's lazy.
Yeah, the only way I could see it as him being gone from the show is if something tragic happens and Maxie ends up losing the baby, and it finally gets revealed that Alex is the real mother, and the memories are implanted into Anna. And so then there really is no reason to keep him around. He gets carted off, and Anna cries for a little bit, but we all move on.
I would take that completely, Frank.
Okay.
I'll take that storyline change for 500. Oh. Seriously. Now's your week that was on General Hospital. I think I caught everything. I don't think there was anything. I don't think I missed nothing. I think we got it all. I mean, mostly stuff that we didn't care about. Other stuff, potentially good stuff. Other stuff, it's fine. It was, to me, it was a C+ week.
Yeah, I mean, we see Dante for a hot second. I need to actually see Dante with another character from Port Charles. So I need to see him meet Olivia. I need to see him get back to Port Charles. Like, this has been dragged out too long already. So let's get him back in. And I just need some movement on the Peter storyline. Do something with this Nina storyline and the locket, because I can't stand it anymore. And whatever's gonna happen with Brando, I just let him get beat up.
I like the character of Brando, but I just think they need to really flesh that out too a little bit. Like, who really is he? What is he really here for? Linking with somebody. I mean, I'm ready for that to kind of happen. It's kind of like just he's there, and they're kind of testing him out and things. So like let's get it going. Let's get Brando going to something and on a path, so we can go. Okay, that's what his purpose is. Got it. That's what I want to see.
And I would care more about the Brando Molly consequences if we saw any scenes with just Molly and Brando. And is Molly, as much as she says with TJ, still feeling that pull to Brando? We don't see any scenes of that. So I can't get invested in whenever this all comes out, because I feel like she hasn't been with near Brando since this happened, TJ. So everybody just chill out. It was a mistake. You guys were on a break as far as she knew. So let's just move on.
That's your Port Charles for the week. You guys, we shout out to Lucretia Lyon, shout out to Carla Renata, shout out to them, our ladies. They'll join us again when they can. Like I said, Carla was dealing with some again, the hot weather out here. We have some stuff going on here, so she's dealing with that. So give a shout out to her and everything. Frank, thanks for doing the show. Of course, it's always fun.
I love doing the show with you. It's the best. It is the best way to spend my 6 o'clock hour on a Sunday night.
Me too, I agree. And I'm sorry we couldn't do it live, folks. Again, we'll try again next week. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I know there's been glitches happening and stuff because of the weather. So who knows? I pressed it like 10 times, nothing happened. I
It's only going
tried.
to be 94 degrees next Sunday, so you're fine.
Oh my God! It better be manageable next Sunday, folks. I'm doing a rain dance. I'm talking to like water specialists, and like this is not. I'm in the dark, you guys. Literally, I'm in the dark so I don't melt for you guys on television. Frank, tell me where they can find you on social media.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at Happy Go Jackie, folks. Let's talk. Let's do it. Why not? What else you got going on?
That's very true. Happy Labor Day, everybody, because you'll be at home by tomorrow. Like me, I'll be at home cooking myself. I'll be cooking on the sidewalk, myself. Not making any food. I'm not cooking anything in my house. It's too hot. You follow GH Spotlight on Facebook. Go ahead and like the page. We're doing great on there. And then just JLJ Media all across the boards. BB Mini Spotlight is out now on JLJ Media with me, Tammy Govea, and Amanda Russ. That's out already on JLJ Media. What we talk about, the mannequins they're using for love interest. We talk about that on the show. Woo! They have bad wigs on those mannequins. It's very strange. They do the kissing scenes. It's very strange. So we talk about that and more on that show. Forever and a Day, my soap opera on my JLJ Media, which is doing very well. An audio soap opera is doing very well here on JLJ Media. The after show of me and Tony Moore. It's out. Also came out today. It's on Soap Sundays here on JLJ Media. It's out today on all the platforms, audio and video. We have Carolina Sivas, who's the writer on the show and plays the lesbian Lakin. So she's on, and we have a good time on that show. Me and Tony, Shade is real. We have a good time on that show. Y&R Mini's not out this week because he had technical difficulties. They'll be back next week. And then Forever and a Day will not be out tomorrow or Friday for observance of Labor Day and September 11th, but it'll be back the following week. And then, of course, we have a bunch of new audio dramas coming to JLJ Media, so just stay tuned for those. I've been working it out. And where can you find me? We're all James Lott Jr. Just Sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. I got to tell you guys, somebody asked me, I always say that, people laugh. I stole that from Alexis Torres. If you're an long-time AfterBuzz TV fan, she used to say that years ago, and she said I could actually have it, and I use it also. So shout out to Alexis Torres, who was one of our early engineers of GH Report and all the shows we do there. I love Alexis. I talk to her every once in a while. She's doing fine back east. But I stole it from her. As I always see that people love it. I use it all the time. So you know Alexis Torres. You know a lot of things with her too.
You're from the greats.
Yeah, she's one of the greats. So thank you there. But everyone, please, wherever you are, if you're in heat stuff, please stay hydrated. Please stay safe. And next week, we'll be back with a new episode of JH Mini Spotlight talking about our favorite show, General Hospital. Bye, everybody.